This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. We'll talk Major League Baseball here. This is going to be a fun segment. Jared Carrabis joins the program with DraftKings, the Baseball is Dead podcast, and his appearance is brought to you by DirecTV, home to the most local Major League Baseball games. Jared, thanks for the time today. We appreciate it. Your local team, where you're from, Boston, and the Red Sox, do you think they make a move before the deadline?
I mean, they just made one yesterday. I feel like with the Kike Hernandez trade, everyone was like, well, who are they going to get for Kike? And I was shocked to find that they got human beings for Kike. I thought it was going to be cash. I thought it was going to be a player to be named later, and it was going to be some low-A pitcher. You end up getting a couple pretty good arms from the Dodgers. You eat a little bit of money, but you take that. They're not done. The Red Sox will probably, or more than likely, they will add at least one starting pitcher. I don't know where they they go from there, but that's definitely the next list, the next on the docket.
What did you see when you were at Fenway last Friday and Chris Sale was doing his bullpen session?
Yeah, so Chris Sale threw a bullpen on Friday, and I got there just as he had wrapped up, and there was a group of coaches and players that had gathered around the Red Sox bullpen to watch him do that. And as they came in from the outfield, one of them walked by and just gave me this facial expression of like, okay, ooh, like that looked pretty good. So that got me excited. That got me excited for Chris Sale coming back, because I feel like, with all due respect, I feel like he's been an afterthought. I think annually, you will get the Chris Sale injury. Mm-hmm. Is it at the beginning of the year? Is it at the end of the year? If it's at the beginning of the year, then you don't even think about him in the first half. He comes back in the second half. If it happens in the first half, you're like, well, we don't have him for the rest of the year now. And that's not the case this year. Like, he has a shoulder injury, but we're going to see Chris Sale pitch again this year. And if he's as good as they acted like he was, that's going to help out the Red Sox if they also add another starter at the deadline.
I'm telling you, if they do all of that, this is a team that I do not want to see in the American League playoffs. Do you think I'm wrong with that? Is that a fair statement? That team is absolutely dangerous if they get in my opinion.
I agree with you, but I need to see what happened. Like, who's still here after the deadline? Because I think they'll look to move a guy like Adam Duvall to create some space in the outfield for a guy like Jarren Duran. But I think one of the most intriguing names on the whole trade market this deadline is James Paxton, because he's 34. He's a rental. He's pitched really, really well, perhaps better than, say, if the Red Sox offered him extension. He pitches better this year than he will any other year for the rest of his big league career. There are going to be a lot of desperate teams at the deadline that are in a position where it's like, hey, we haven't been in the postseason in a while. We don't know if we're going to be there next year. Like, let's just go all in and get some pieces here. If the Red Sox get an offer that they can't refuse for James Paxton, I'm making that deal 10 times out of 10. I just am. Like, I don't think that that's punting, because I feel like they're already in a position where they're not World Series contenders. They're playoff contenders. But if you're not a World Series contender and someone makes you an offer you can't refuse for James Paxton, you have to do it. And if you do it, you're no longer considered to be this threat that we're talking about.
They might make the playoffs if you stay out of the broadcast booth. I could tell you
that's
that.
True.
But
that's true.
Baseball players are very superstitious. Can you share a story you have that you tweeted out?
Yeah, so I've been in the broadcast booth 4 times this year. The Red Sox have allowed home runs in 3 of those 4 appearances. And actually, the one that I didn't give up any runs while I was in there, I think it was the following inning, the Blue Jays scored 6 runs in 1 inning. So I just narrowly avoided that being on my record as well.
Oh, God. That is fantastic. And also getting texts from other players about, get the hell out of the booth, you bad luck.
Dustin Pedroia.
Yes,
could be a Hall of Famer someday.
That's right. Unbelievable. You have to be loving this with the Yankees, right? They get blown out at home by the Mets. I mean, Rodon's been awful since he came back. They're in last place. Your tweet as well. They're 2 games under 500 when playing teams not named the A's and the Royals. Could this be the perfect storm, though, too, where they finish in last place and then they just spend like crazy in the offseason trying to get back? And the fact that, it's only happened 4 times in 120 years that they finished in last place. But that's definitely on the table here.
Yeah, I mean, if that is on the table, I don't even care. I had that tweet yesterday about the 5 shortstops that combined for $1.3 billion, and they've had the same offensive output as Carlos Santana, who's 37. So, I mean, spending money, I think this is the biggest example of that. Spending money does not guarantee anything. And then the Rodon contract, you still have to spend wisely. The Aaron Judge contract. I mean, he's given you a one good month at this point with the toe injury. And I still need to see not just when is he coming back, if he's coming back, what does he look like when he comes back? This team is desolate without Aaron Judge. They are a non-threat. If Aaron Judge does come back at some point and he's out there struggling because the toe isn't right, it doesn't matter that he's back. That entire team goes because Aaron Judge goes.
Yep.
So I'm not even mildly concerned about the New York Yankees. It's actually embarrassing that the Red Sox have a similar record.
Wow. How about this prop in another book? Who will have a better record? The team that wins the AL Central or the team that finishes in last place in the AL East?
Yeah, I think that all comes down to Judge, too. Right now, I believe it's 1 percentage point separates the two teams. The Yankees have a 1 percentage point advantage over the Minnesota Twins. That's probably one of the best prop bets that I can think of. Is the last place team in the American League East going to be better? Man. Again, the Yankees are so egotistical that they're going to be buyers at the deadline.
Yeah.
They're in last place. They have a losing record against every other team in the league except for the A's and the Royals, and they look at themselves like, whoa, well, we're the New York Yankees. We have to be buyers. So they're going to go out there and add. I would probably take the New York Yankees to have a better record than the Twins. I think I would.
Okay. Well, I mean, as the Red Sox fan that you've been your entire life, I'm guessing that you want Cashman and Boone to keep their jobs forever.
Yeah, I do. I love Booney. I think he's great, and I'm glad that he picked up Sean Casey to be the hitting coach over there. Cashman, I just feel like has a job for life.
He does.
It's just there's nothing that guy can do that he's going to end up getting a pink slip. But Booney, say what you want about the guy. I know Yankee fans go crazy over his post-game press conferences because he'll just say the same things over and over and over again. But if you put it to a vote with the players in that clubhouse, I'm sure he would keep his job unanimously if it was up to the players. So that's just one of those things.
The reports are all over the board. What do you think happens at the deadline with Ohtani?
I think he stays. Yeah, I think he stays. Just because we've already seen some teams check in on what's it going to cost. They're just doing their due diligence. I don't think that there is going to be a package because the Angels are in a lose-lose situation. If you keep him, you're probably not going to make the playoffs. You're just going to let him walk. He's not going to stay there. So now you're the team that let Shohei Ohtani walk for nothing. If you trade him, you're probably going to get a prospect package where now you've got 3-4 guys that forever are going to be labeled as the players that were traded for Shohei Ohtani. They better be combined 30-time All-Stars. Like they're going to be scrutinized for the rest of their careers. They're more than likely not going to live up to the hype as far as we know. They're just in a lose-lose. I think also if you're a team that is that interested in Ohtani, now there could be some sort of bidding war where you're just mortgaging your franchise's future for the next 5 years by trading for a guy that maybe you're not going to be able to pay or something like that. That's why I kind of look at teams like Tampa, Baltimore, teams that it's like, all right, we need to get over the hump and win a championship here. It's either been never or a very long time since winning a championship, and we don't have $600 million under the couch cushion to pay this guy.
Right.
Those are the teams that I could see putting together some sort of package that the Angels can't say no to. But I still think ultimately he stays.
All right. We have about a minute left here, Jared. DraftKings has a trade deadline market up with a bunch of players listed, and it's basically where they're going to be after August 1st. There are 4 Padres/Mets on the board: Verlander, Scherzer, Hader, and Snell. What do you think about any of those 4 guys before the deadline?
Yeah, don't sleep on the Astros in a Justin Verlander reunion. I could see them because of the injuries that they've had. The window that they have right now with their core that they've put together, the Astros going out there and making a surprise deal to bring Justin Verlander back to the Stros. I don't think Soto's going anywhere. I don't think Snell's going anywhere. Scherzer would be an interesting piece, but as far as a guy that can actually help a team out, I think Verlander could be the most likely to go.
Okay, very good. Excellent appearance as always. Jared Carrabis has been our guest with DraftKings, and make sure that you download, listen, subscribe, all that to his podcast called Baseball is Dead. Very popular podcast he's been doing for a long time now. Thanks, pal. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.